Good morning and welcome to the SHAC. My name's Barbara Gray from Clarity here in the UK, and we're set to spend an hour doodling together, staying safe, happy and creative. So welcome to the SHAC. The weather here is changing. The seasons are on the move, aren't they? So what about where you are? Same thing? Paul is in the room with your good selves, so if you have any questions, I'm sure he will be able to help you. And let me just check that I can see everything here. Yeah, I can. Let me just dial that down a little bit. But yeah, hello, Annie. Nice to have your company. Paul says the sound is nice and clear as well. So, yeah, come on in. We've got, I thought we'd have a nice doodling morning together. I've got some ideas, time to get back on that bus. I was telling you about our trip. Sam and I went on that road trip to California and Arizona and New Mexico. I think we even stopped off in Nevada. Of course we did, at Las Vegas. And now we're back on the trail on Route 66, no less. And I thought we'd stop at Gallup, which is a really nice town on Route 66, where Sam and I, we saw some fantastic Native American Indian dancing groups. So I thought that would be a nice place to stop. I've done a little bit of homework about the Hopi tribe, and I thought we could draw some Hopi people together. How's that sound? Happy morning, everybody. Yeah, so pause there if you have any questions, and we'll just let our friends find us, have a cup of tea, travel gently. The birthday celebrations are going really well, and thank you so much to everybody who signed up for my next online workshop, which will be on Saturday the 18th of October. And it's all about alcohol ink on a gel press plate. So I think that you'll enjoy that one. It's been very well received, which I'm really glad. I'm really glad because it's the first in a whole series, and it sets the pace for the whole mixed media gel plate printing course, all to do with printmaking, mark making, getting to know our different materials. And you can see here, actually, let me take up the bigger one. This is the booklet that we're going to be, this is what we will be tackling, all the different landscapes, alcohol ink on a gel plate. Saturday, the 18th of October, 2025, 9 to 12. Then we'll have a lunch break, and then we'll carry on at 2 to 4. Thing is, when you do join, as I explained on Friday, and you can always go back to Friday, 10 o'clock, pre-recorded now. And I went into it in more detail. But the thing is that once you sign up for this course, it's like getting the key to the castle, and you can go back and revisit anytime that you like. So even if you can't make the live on the 18th, it's never a problem. You can always go back in and catch up later. Right, so come on in. And I've got something really nice I want to show you as well. One of our dear friends sent me a beautiful gift. Thank you so much for all the get well cards and prezzies. It's very kind of you. Not necessary, but very kind, and always cheers one up, doesn't it? So, but I wanted to show you this fabulous book that I received, because I just thought it really did put a smile on my face. Let's check this out while we're waiting for our friends to find us. So look at this. Just for you. Okay, let me come in a bit closer, shall I? Let me see if I can come in a little bit closer. There we are. Just for you, to Barbara, with love from Catherine, a little something to make you smile. Look, isn't it gorgeous? So this is one of our dies. This is one of our doodle dies, one of the panel dies. But what I wasn't expecting was what came next. And it is so, so delightful. So I just want to say a huge thank you to Catherine. And you know what? The element of anonymity, she didn't even tell me her surname. Catherine, thank you. So check this out. I know, this is so fun. Chocolate is vital for our survival. Dinosaurs didn't have chocolate, and look what happened to them. Tell the scales that. Did you know that water is the most essential element of life? Yes, because without water, are you listening, Paul? You can't make coffee. Catherine Peace, is this your work? Let me ask you, Catherine, is this from your good self? See what this is, which is really cool. It's a folding book. Look, let's have another look. So what I love is the way that she's presented each piece. Oh, this one really gave me the ick. Stick a turkey leg in a sneaker and let your dog patrol your yard. Today I learned you can scare the shit out of your neighbours by putting a wig on your dog. Good, isn't it? I'm going to keep going. These big Cheerios are way better than the small ones, and you don't even need milk. Catherine Peace, thank you so, so much. I had a feeling it was you, but I couldn't say for sure. And I didn't like to assume, and then another Catherine would be offended. So thank you so much, Catherine. I can't tell you how much this made me smile. And Dave, we read it together. Friend, I thought you were dieting. Me, I am. Friend, you just had 3 donuts. Me, yeah, but I wanted 4. See, dieting. Here's a good one. What's the best thing you've learned about storms? Asked the boy. That they end, said the horse. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Wouldn't that make a great stamp? How deep is the mud? Depends on who you ask. So clever. We all go through the same stuff differently. Isn't that super? Oh, I know. I often look at little dogs when they're walking and I think, oh, you've got to walk twice as fast as your partner. Here's one. Oh, look. It's been a rough week, but I made it. How about you? How to dress for cold weather. Put pajamas back on, get back into bed. Yeah, do you know what? I'm getting to that age where that may just work for me. Life is too short. Take the trip, buy the shoes, eat the cake. Yeah, well, do you know what, Catherine? I learned that one a long time ago. You should see how many shoes I've got. Imelda Marcos, eat your heart out. How I motivate myself to study. Can you see this? I love this. Look, 100% works. So you use different chocolate bars as dividers to get yourself to the next page. Do not stand, sit, climb, or lean on zoo fences. If you fall, animals could eat you, and that might make them sick. Thank you. Dark sense of humour. Today is the tomorrow we worried about yesterday, and all is well. I'm going to read that again. Today is the tomorrow that we worried about yesterday, and all is well. There's a lesson in there. The oldest known cat door in the world is located at Exeter Cathedral in Devon. Look. But I do know that this goes on. So, and we go on. Are we up for this? I should say so. If I die choking on a gummy bear, tell everyone I was killed by a bear and say no more. Them, how's life? Me, everything is on track. Thanks, the track. Isn't it wonderful? What a smashing way to start a Monday morning. As soon as I saw this, I thought, this is brilliant for the SHAC. Everybody will love this. So thank you, Catherine, for setting us on the right track for this week. There you go. Not this track, a happy track. Those are dark clouds, said the boy. Yes, but they will move on, said the horse. The blue sky above never leaves. Hey, isn't that lovely? Grüß dich, Marion. Schön, dass du auch da bist. There's a quote by the poet Ingrid Goff-Madoff. Goff-Madoff? Okay, Goff-Madoff. That simply says, God spoke today in flowers, and I, who was waiting on words, almost missed the conversation. Isn't that beautiful? There's a quote by the poet Ingrid Godmadoff that simply says, God spoke today in flowers, and I, who was waiting on words, almost missed the conversation. So lovely. Even the darkest night will end and the sun will rise. Les Miserables. When I interviewed Maya Angelou, my Shiro, she told me to write this sentence on my notepad and to never forget it. Every storm runs out of rain. I still think of that line to this day. Alex Banyan. Every storm runs out of rain. Isn't that brilliant? It's been a rough week, but on a positive note, I didn't need any bail money and didn't need to hide any bodies. Isn't it wonderful? Sometimes God will slow you down so that the evil ahead of you will pass before you get there. I know. Grace says that all the time. Your delay could mean your protection. He's a good God. Amen. I really believe that. So often we'll get stuck in traffic, and Grace will say, Grace always, she's our mindset, Mrs. Positive. She says, well, the reason we're stuck in traffic because at the front of this traffic jam, there's a huge accident and we've been saved from not being in that accident. Aren't we lucky? She even used to say that as a child. And then, of course, an ambulance goes whistling past and, yep, she's right. So, and on we go. Do nothing, let it clear. Muddy water left still becomes clear. It does. The way is not forced, it flows. Wait without pushing, clarity comes on its own. What if stillness is the most powerful thing you could do today? What might clear if you stopped stirring? I say, I love that. Isn't that true? That's so true, isn't it? Lillian, yes, that happened to me on Saturday. Oh, traffic jam, I know. I went to see Mum last week and it took me 3 hours to get home. And I was so grateful to get home because there was a dreadful motorbike accident. Poor bloke. I assume it was a man. Sometimes I just want it to stop. Talk of COVID, protests, looting, brutality. I lose my way, become convinced that this new normal is real life. But then I meet an 87-year-old who talks of living through polio, diphtheria, Vietnam, protests, and yet is still enchanted with life. He seemed surprised when I said that 2020 must be especially challenging for him. No, he said, slowly looking at me straight in the eyes. I learned a long time ago to not see the world through the printed headlines. I see the world through the people that surround me. I see the world with a realization that we love big. Therefore, I just choose to write my own headlines. Husband loves wife today. Family drops everything to come to Grandma's side. He patted my hand. Old man makes new friend. His words collide with my worries. Oh, you'll have to read it yourself. There we go. His words collide with my worries, freeing them from the tether I had been holding tight. They float away. I am left with renewed spirit. My headline now reads, Woman Overwhelmed. By the spirit of kindness and the reminder that our capacity to love is never ending. Boom. Hey, isn't that lovely? Honestly, Catherine, you hit the spot there too. That is so true, isn't it? And this is exactly what we're talking about. Okay. The other serenity prayer. Okay. The other serenity prayer. Yeah, I've got a couple of these myself. In case you're not familiar with the original serenity prayer, which I live my life by one day at a time, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. That's the original serenity prayer. Now, let's take a look at the other serenity prayer. This is a new one. God, grant me the serenity to stop beating myself up for not doing things perfectly. Hey, are you listening, ladies and gents? God, grant me the serenity to stop beating myself up for not doing things perfectly. Tina Morris, I hope you're reading. The courage to forgive myself because I'm working on doing better. Aye, aye. And the wisdom to know that you already love me just the way I am. Oh, I love it. Catherine, what are you doing to me? There you are. You read that one while I sort myself out. Ah, dear. Honestly. And some make you cry, Anne. Ah, Maya Angelou again. Ah, she's amazing, isn't she? My wish for you is that you continue to be who and how you are, to astonish a mean world with your acts of kindness. God, why didn't I see this before? God, I missed this page, Catherine. Maya Angelou. She was a visionary, wasn't she? I remember seeing her at the Glide Church in San Francisco years ago. Unbelievable. You know, that wonderful, that once in a million lifetime chance of being in a church the same morning that Maya Angelou decides to rock up. Didn't know she was going to be there, but I knew the minute I saw her in the front seat, I knew just from the way she was sitting, from the back of her head, I knew who it was. I know. That was quite something that day. I'll never forget it. The Glide Church in San Francisco, it's one of those churches that is for everybody, you know, whether you're homeless, serves lots of, it's a very proactive church, serves hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of meals and lunches and breakfasts every day, downstairs in the kitchens, you know, and you'll be listening to the brilliant choir, the gospel choir. They're called the Gliders, and they keep disappearing. It's like a moving, you know, they don't just sit, they keep, and they wear all different clothes, and then they'll disappear because they got to go in the kitchen and cook, and then they come back. It's quite something. Yeah, Maya Angelou. But back to this. Thank you so much. My wish for you is that you can continue to be who and how you are, to astonish a mean world with your acts of kindness. Well, this is a keeper. This is a keeper, Catherine. Catherine with a K. That's why I secretly knew it was you, Catherine Peace. But what a beautiful name you have, actually, eh? There you go. That was an emotional Monday. What a start. Many thanks. Yeah, lovely. Very lovely. So, have you got a cup of tea? Are you ready to rock and roll? Eh? So if you remember, Sam and I, we went to California. We flew to San Francisco, spent a few days with my Mark, and then went down to Monterey, where we went to the Sea Life Aquarium, and the aquarium, and that's why we drew a turtle. Do you remember we drew the turtle? That was the last project that we completed here dans le SHAC. Yeah. So I thought today, because then we went from Monterey, we went to Las Vegas. That was cool. Then we went to the Grand Canyon, of course. And then it started changing the whole vibe. You imagine going from Las Vegas to the Grand Canyon. There in and of itself is a difference, like worlds apart. There were some fires on the north rim of the Grand Canyon, and we could see the smoke in the distance, but we were on the south rim. But we stayed in Flagstaff only because we didn't want to, you know, because fires move so fast. We didn't want to get caught up, so we stayed an hour away, drove in, drove back. It was fun. Route 66 is a funny old route because it kind of disappears. You think you're on it, and then you're off it, and then you're on it, then you're off it, and there's like a motorway, a highway, 41. I think it's 41. Can't remember. I think so. I-40, not 41. I-40, and it literally runs from east to west, west to east. Anyway, so you're on the I-40, which some of it is Route 66 and some of it isn't. So that's why you keep falling on and off, so to speak. Anyway, when we went to the Painted Desert, and beautiful, absolutely stunning. And then we got to Gallup. So now we're in Indian territory, okay, as in Native American Indians, all the way. As soon as you get to Arizona, you start feeling it changes, gets very spiritual, and we're in the Southwest here, friends. So by the time, so we have a house in New Mexico. Don't ask me why. I have a home in New Mexico, a beautiful home, just lovely, right? I've got 2 kids in America, so there is method in my madness, as they say. And I always thought one day I would retire there, and who says that I won't? But for the now, the house is there, beautiful and safe and looked after, and we were headed. That was our destination. And we got there, and it was fine, and it was all beautiful. No snakes, no rattlers. No, I didn't see any critters. I just got to see some of my old dear friends. Interestingly, Sam said to me when we got there, I digress a little bit. She said, "You have a whole other world out here, don't you?" I said, "Yeah, I do, and have had for about 25 years." That's right. And it's wonderful. And I've got really good friends like that I've known all those years. And one of my dear friends, Isabel, she's really ill with cancer at the moment. But Duda and I, another dear friend, she and I went to visit Isabel, surprise, because it was her birthday, and we had the best time, got good people, good people. Yeah, so there we are. But back to Route 66. So we leave Flagstaff, and we head out, we head on the road, we hit the I-40, and the next port of call is Gallup. So when we get to Gallup, I'd never been to Gallup before, but I wanted to show Sam Acoma, which is a city on a tabletop mountain. And it was too far to go in one hit, and I wasn't sure where to stay in Acoma. So I thought, let's stay in Gallup. It's on Route 66, muy interesante. So that's what we did. When we got to Gallup, nice hotel, and we started driving, and there wasn't much going on. There was a lot of, those roads where it's like a facade. It feels like there's nothing behind it. It was one of those, like all the way along the railroad. I'm sure I'm repeating myself here, but it doesn't matter. It's what happens when you get to our age, girls and boys. Anyway, so then we saw loads of cars. So I thought, well, where there's cars, there's people. So we parked up, and as soon as we got out of the car, we could hear this beautiful flute playing music. And we started heading towards the music. And sure enough, we found the dancers. And there was a Native American Indian Pueblo dance festival. And we asked if we could join, and they were more than happy to have us there. And that is where we are picking up now. So when we got to the house in New Mexico, we had a week there, just downtime, because it'd been a hell of a trip. I've done a lot of driving, and it's been quite the journey. So it was nice to just get to the house and breathe, one of those ones. And while we were there, it was great because we'd done it had been an art gathering. It was all about gathering art and ideas, and even when we were at the house in New Mexico, we spent 2 days of our week there in Santa Fe, which is like one huge art gallery, right? Fantastic. So, but anyway, rewind, we're still at Gallup at the moment. And when we got to the house, I sat down and decided to draw some Hopi people. Yeah. And I want to draw those Hopi people, or some of them, with you. Okay. And that, my friends, is the doodle of the day. So all you need your tracing paper. So you need some tracing paper. Okay, let's get this going. Need a tracing paper, and you need a piece of copy paper. I've just got some ideas. We need to measure it out, really. Right, so that's all you need. Just if you fancy joining in. Need a pencil, that'll do. Probably a sharpener, maybe an eraser pencil. And then down the road, when we get to go inking, you need your micron pens. And that, my friends, will do. I tell you what else I am going to use, only because this is so clever, and I want to show you how they work. The new view rulers. You could use any ruler, but there's a special trick to these, using these, not as you would think. We use them as a view ruler, like a viewfinder, right, which is ideal, but they also work really good as right angle rulers, okay, T-squares, very good. I'm going to show you how I'm going to use those in a minute. So that's what we got, and that's what we're going to use, just if you want to kind of hang out with me and doodle. I'll show you what I doodled though, or what I drew while we were at the house in New Mexico. Now I'm going to set the scene for you, okay? The house is an old schoolhouse. It's about 105 years old, which in America is old, okay? It's a historical building. Yeah, don't ask me how I ended up buying a historical building in New Mexico, but there we are, and it's beautiful. I was married to an American, that's why. Okay, so have the house, sitting in beautiful house, old, setting the scene here. It's like in the deep south. Sometimes when you're in the place of the thing that you're drawing, it comes very quickly to you. This is the same place I drew the painter, Mr. Painter, much to Sam's amusement. But let me show you these Kachina dolls. Now, years and years ago, we had some little dancing dolls. And they were nice, and I kind of used the same style because I love it, but I decided to make my own. Okay, so I started because the Hopi Indian tribe is, these are Pueblo Indians, right? Let's say that they're based more or less in Arizona. They're very artistic, and they have a very strong connection to the earth. If you think about the Hopi tribe, think of them as the kind Indians. They're not warring Indians, not at all. They're very creative, they're artistic. They're like the crafters in the Indian world. They're very well known for their pottery, for their weaving. You know, that's the Hopi Indians. And they have a strong connection, right? Their reservation is on the edge of the Painted Desert, okay? And the whole Hopi culture promotes peace and a respect for nature. That's really the essence. They're also what's called matrilineal. So in other words, everything passes down through the daughter. It's not patrilineal, it's matrilineal. So it's the daughter that is the, instead of going down the oldest son, like it does in our patrilineal, it goes down, I think it's the youngest daughter. It's the opposite of what you think. And so it's a very gentle. And what I tried to do when I drew these little, and Kachina, Kachina, or Kachina, 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 is the word for doll, okay? And so we're going to draw Kachinas. They're not real people. They're like Hopi people, like the other people, like our triangle people, our clarity people, Hopi people, H-O-P-I, Hopi tribe. Look them up. Really fascinating people, peaceful, loving, which at the moment in this crazy world, I really want to lean into that. Yeah. Okay. So we've got, what I decided to do, And I got carried away. Sam was speechless. She said, how many are you doing? And I just kept going in and did another one. So first of all, I thought I drew the fruit carriers. Okay, so we've got big baskets, weavers, and they fill their baskets. So you see that they say, like, think of Thanksgiving. You know, when we think about at the moment, the sort of fiery activity of summer is kind of being replaced by celebrations of autumn. Think like that. Think in those lines. So we've got the basket, we've got the baskets with the fruit, and then I did another two. Okay, they're nice together. Look, and because it's one of the lovely things about drawing on tracing paper is you can see what they sit like together. Then I did water carriers. So I thought, well, that's rather nice. So we've got fruit, baskets, water carriers. They're giving thanks as well. And what you'll notice when you overlay them, they're all the same height. Look, they're all the same height. Look, she looks like that Indian with all the different arms. The necks are all the same length, long. The bodies are all elongated, yeah? And it's just a neat way to draw them, really. It's a style. It's a style. Like the triangle people, they are a style, aren't they? They all have that cut-out ability, yeah? And these are the Hopi people. So we've got I love these, right? So we've got our baskets, we've got our water carriers, and then we've got our, I said they're connected with the earth. So let's have a look. Enter the birds. So now we've got beautiful crowns. So these are headdresses. They have amazing headdresses, right? So the one that I want to draw with you as well, I haven't done this one yet, so we can do it together. I want to draw the boy, a male kachina with a big buffalo. I've got to draw him. I'll do it this week. I'll get ahead of you on the bus. But for now, these are really easy and they all have the same layout. That's what I'm talking about. So here we can see we've got beautiful headdresses and we're giving thanks. So arms outstretched, very much celebrations of autumn and gratitude. They kind of, if you look at them all, you'll see that they really do. They're easy enough to draw, but they all give that sense of optimism and hope. And here's another three. See, so I'll take out the baskets. I'll take out the water carriers. There we go. Let me take that basket out there. And now let's have a look. So now we've got the birds and the headdresses, feathers. So we're on the feathers now. But you can see when you look, the waist is always at the same place. The neck is always at the same place. So it's very achievable, friends. Okay? And that's what we're going to doodle today. I hope that you like doing this. I think we'll start with that one because it's an easy one. Okay? So we don't need to do them all, but let's just get the layout right. Okay, you ready? So it's easy, really. What you need, first of all, is a piece of copy paper, and we're going to fold it into in half this way. Let's do that. Fold the piece of copy paper like that. And then we're going to take a piece of tracing paper, and we'll do the same thing. So we're going to work on half a tracing paper, that way, lengthways. Okay. And then what we'll do is we'll pop that in there. So that now is going to be our canvas, if you like. That's what we're going to draw. And when you look at these, you'll see they fit perfectly on his. It's about 4 inches, and that's the sort of size that we're going to go for. So, I mean, you can draw your own, but I just want to show you where we're going, where we're starting. So let's take that, right? And that's what we've got to work with. So I need my pencil. And I need my view ruler. That's important now. Or a ruler of some description. And I want to show you how I'm going to use the ruler. let me see, how far out can I go? Let's just move my lovely designs out of the way for a minute. I'm going to stand up now. They look like they should live on Clarity Street. Well, they might just do that. So let's have a look. We've got, if we look, you'll see it's about 4 inches. See, so that butts up to there. It's handy, this is, because it shows you exactly how hot, you know, double bubble. I'm a big fan of this, and the more I use it, I find the more useful it becomes to me. I'm going to show you what I want to do. If the bus driver's got a bit ahead of you, right? If you look at she's on the tracing paper, right? So I've just sketched her out so you can see the point. Is 1 inch to the base of the neck. Is 1 1/4 inches to the waist area. Then there's another inch to the skirt. See, that's the bottom line there. So what we're going to do, and I'll show you a trick. I'm going to turn this round like this, okay? And I'm going to use this one. This is the key here, right? Because I'm going to just use the side like this. And this is where this gets invaluable, because it butts up here. So it's, you know, it's not going to be pissed, if you like. It's got to be straight, provided that that's sitting on that side. When I bring this in like so, I'm going to put the baseline. I'm going to change the baseline, but I don't want to draw on the, heads up, I don't want to draw on the tracing paper. I want to draw on the paper, okay? So let me just draw on the paper. That's why we're working. See, so now I can, that's there like so. I'll go like that, and I'll just make sure that the feet, when they land like that, they're 1/4 inch away. There we are. That'll do. See, and then this is butted up, so I know it's going to be straight. Got it? Well, provided that your fold is accurate. If your fold's pissed, then everything's going to be pissed, isn't it? Pissed being a graphic expression. Let's turn that over and let's start again. Make sure that your fold is good. Right, start again, Barbara. Okay, attention to detail. A4, my eyesight, I'll tell you what. Does the liver affect your eyesight? Oh, good. I think my liver's affecting my eyesight. Right, that's that. Then I'm going to take that. Now it doesn't look so pissed. There we are. So we go like that. See, that goes like that. That goes like that. That's in there. And then I can use that down. Right. Okay, we got there in the end. Let's do that. Now at the top, I want to do the same thing. So looking at this like so, I'm going to say that I want to, let's give 1/2 inch, just 1/2 inch. Let's just draw a line, 1/2 inch, this one. So that one there, let me show you on here, is this bit where the feet are, from here to here. Let's just do 1/2 inch. That'll do. Then the next bit is 1 inch, right? So now I want the skirt. So I'm going to go from here, 1 inch is to there. Because I gave myself 1/4 inch. I didn't make it easy on myself, but that's okay. Because I tell you what you can do if you want, and it's almost like a computer. Let me show you something. I can lift this up. I can move this over to there now, like that. And if you want to tape it down, you can. But now my inches are actually, I haven't got to keep calculating the 1/4 inch at the end. So now I've done 1/2 inch for the legs. Now I'm going to do 1 inch for the body to the waist, right? So now I'm going to just write that down there. The most important thing is that this is, see, this is butting up against here. So clever, honestly. Right, so now I've done the feet, I've done to the waist. Now I've got 1 1/4 inch to the base of the neck. Right, so hold it all in place. We're going to go 1 1/4 inch to the base of the neck. And provided that I butt that up to there like that, it'll be fine. So just hold it all in place. And I've got 1 inch to there and another 1/4 inch to there. And that will do. This is just rough, but it gives you, hang on, it gives you, Barbara, It's just talking and working at the same time. Right, inch and a quarter, inch and a quarter. So that now is this bit. And then the last bit is the inch to the top. So one more inch now. So if you want, you see, if you feel that you can't keep calculating, just take that line to there, line it up with this line here, and then take your inch again. So there's your inch there. And provided that this is still just butted up, then you know, let me get my inch right, like that. There you go. And there's my inch. So then when I turn this around, I've done everything that I wanted to. This is another thing. I used a larger piece of paper. I used an American format paper, which is why I got more going on. But so you've got your base, you've got a ½ inch here, you've got an inch to the waist. Write this down, humour me. Write this down. Neck, waist, skirt, base. That's it. Done it. And then what you're going to do, you see, when you take your clean piece of tracing paper, look, bingo. And she will be so easy to draw once you've got that template, that dimension. And the other thing is, if you're drawing, just to say, right, it doesn't matter what you're drawing. If you're drawing a family or you're drawing, you know, a football team, right, and you want the style to be consistent, then this is a perfect way to get the proportions right every time. And the view ruler, this slide rule effect, right, this slide rule idea that I'm showing you here, like this. This is such a cool way of making a divider, you know, like mapping things out, because you've got that whole length there, and you just use the inch, like ½ inch, inch, and then of course, like I did, you can move this along so that you don't have to start calculating. It doesn't get too complicated. Anyway, I think it's a great piece of kit. So we've done that, we've done that. Now we're going to start drawing. Have your pencil ready. Yeah? How are we doing here? You all right? I know. See, once we've done this, we can start funneling loads of little Kachina Hopi people down this grid. Yeah? That's why once I'd worked out the shape when we were in New Mexico, it was easy to just keep drawing more. Just change the skirt, change the dress, change the headdress, change the belt, hang some, make the arms go in a different direction. Once you've got that trunk, this bit, and the head, it's easy. Okay. So now let's have a look, and we'll get to, now where did I put that parchment? Here we go. So what I'll do is I'll just pop that one there like so that you've got something that you can look at while we're doing this. Yeah, it's easier that way. So here, for example, we know, let's say we want to put something on her head, right? So if this is the base of the neck, I'm going to suggest that you always start at the base of the neck and put the head about halfway in that top bit. So that gives you, right, if you put the head there, then that gives you plenty of room for the neck and plenty of room above. If you can even move it down a little bit, because otherwise the neck's going to be way too long, right? So let's go down a little bit, like here, right? So then, because I'm going to do a basket, so I probably want a little bit more on her head, a little bit less on the neck. Let's go like that. Right, neck's easy. Come in a bit closer, shall I? There you go. There you go. So there you've got her head, and you've got her neck, and then you've got her body to the torso. So just make a box, like a box, like a robot. Look, just go like that. Make the body like that. Okay. Then make a skirt. I know this, you think this is ridiculous, but this will give you exactly what you need. So the skirt's there, and then the feet are like that. There you go. 1 foot, and then you can put another one. And if you want them to be, see, the thing is, when you rub out, you don't rub out your pencil lines. So let's say the feet, we want to make them a bit closer together, like that, and maybe like that. There you go. So there's her legs. And then we want to put something on her head. Now you've got choices. You could put a crown on, but we're going to go with, let's go with a basket. So she needs something on her head to hold it in place. So let's do this. And let's just make a big basket. So a big bowl like that. So just swing like that. There you go. That's nice. What I love about this is that no two, we could be 10 of us, 100 of us, 1,000 of us drawing. No two are going to be the same. Now, if you look at that, do you know what I see there? I see I see antlers. Like I could go off on I know this is a bowl, right? Because we said we're going to do a bowl. But if I left that off there like that, let me just humour me for a minute. I've got this idea. So pretend this is a bloke now. This is a chap, right? And he is celebrating. Look, these could be antlers. I'm not kidding. It could be twigs, it could be a tree, it could be something. I mean, I really like that idea, right? So you could turn it into antlers, into twigs, into trees. I mean, once you get to this point, the world's your oyster, really. In fact, I'm going to leave that one there because I'm happy with that. That's a different one. Let's go again with the head, right? So we've got the head there. This will give you a chance to catch up. Not so high. I want to do a little bit more on the head dress. So come down a little bit, Gray. There you go. So I've come down, neck, head, headdress. We're going to go with Harvest Festival now. Thanks, gratitude, and a bowl with leaves or fruit. Yes. Right, torso, trunk. Let's go again. See, this is the easy bit. Skirt. Okay. Regalia is what this is called. Legs. We'll do legs as well. Right, so we've got our, it's cool. It's very cool, okay? So let's say this one, we want to put, let's forget about that one. I'm going to work on him. Let's go back to this one here. So now we're going to do her hands. So easy. We're going to put the hands in like so. So the hands are cupped, just like that. Just make simple hands that are cupped like that. There you go, like almost like moons there. And then when we've done that, there's the wrist, like so. Easy to draw. And then we'll put the sleeve in, and then we'll decide. See, the further up your arm goes, see if it's wider, then the arm goes out further. Do you see? So if you make the bowl wider, then the arm goes out wider too, doesn't it? Do you get it? So I'm just going to stick with what I'm doing here. I'm just going to stick to the plan. There's one hand. I'm going to make the hands a bit smaller. So this is all, thing about this is, it's all a moving feast. You can do what you like. Okay. So if that's the hand there, like that, there's the wrist like that. Then we're going to put the sleeve in. Let's have a look. Going to come down like so. Do we want to bend it? I should think we want to bend it. Bend, bend. There we go. So down we come a bit. Nice. Nice. Bit of symmetry. Neck's quite long, but that's all right. There's plenty of room for the earrings. Right, like so. See? Try and get a bit of symmetry going on the arms. Right. And then once we've done that, right, let's get a neck dress. Let's get a neckline going. So, like so. See, and then when you, now let's change this a little bit. What have we got going on here? Let's have a look. So we can, where's the one that where's my original one? Right, here she is. Look, see? So now you change that, you could put a pendant or something, right? Let's try that. Let's do that. So I'm going to go with, there you go, I'll pop that there. We could bring that down and we could put a lovely, they're big on jewelry, Native American Indians. Turquoise is the, next Thursday, No, not Thursday. We're not doing the shack on Thursday. On Monday, when we get together again to carry on with this, I'll bring some of my art pieces from New Mexico. I've got some astounding pottery, really beautiful. Just because I'm a potter, that doesn't mean that I invest a lot of money in the masters art, you know, because I appreciate the work that goes into it, you know. So I bought some fantastic pottery from a Navajo Indian, actually. I think he was Navajo. I don't think he was Hopi. Peace-loving people too. Beautiful. I think I wrote about them in the newsletter. I showed you photographs of the pottery. I'll bring them with me, and I'll bring some of my jewelry, because I have some wonderful turquoise jewelry. Turquoise as a stone wards off, and the color wards off evil spirits. It's protective. So if you wear a necklace or earrings, and what you'll find is when you're in New Mexico or Arizona, you'll even notice that the window frames, they're all painted. Even the adobe houses, they usually have turquoise frames. It's a lot of turquoise. That's maybe why we like turquoise. But it has a protective, it symbolizes warding off evil spirits. They put it around the doors, put it around the windows, put it around their bodies. It almost presents a shield, turquoise. Next Monday when I come in, I'll have to remind myself. I'll bring some of my beautiful inlay, silver, turquoise, very, very lovely. In fact, if you've got some turquoise, let's have on Monday, since this is the year of colour, do yourself a favour. Let's just humour me here, right? I'll dress, not like a Hopi Kachina, but I will dress in turquoise and with big earrings. It's not who I am, but I will, right? And I'll show you all the different, and perhaps you will make the effort too, you know, and wear that jewelry that you bought when you were on holiday and feeling light and free. And then you got back home to Manchester and you thought, I can't wear this down Oxford Road. They'd think I'd lost it. You know that one? We've all got a drawer full of that stuff, haven't we? Great big ring earrings and big necklaces, you know, and then you think, no, I can't wear that. But for some reason, when we were in the middle of blinking Arizona, we thought that's a good idea. I'm gonna buy myself an American Indian headdress, and then I'm going to wear it in Gillingham when I come home. Get that gear out on Monday, and we'll get together on Monday, okay? Yes. Very lovely. That's what we're going to do, okay? Right, so we've done that, and now we're going to go for the body. So the waist, let's check out the waist here, because the waist, we don't want it to be, not ridiculous, you know, but let's put a sash around the waist. A sash. They do that, you know, and quite big sashes. The sash can come up, the sash could be like so, right? It's folded round twice, and then perhaps it goes from here, it goes like so. And on this side, perhaps it goes like so, right? So this is the sash tied at the back. Gives us an opportunity to colour. Maybe we'll make it a little bit wider. There you go. It's got two pieces. There we are. And then the skirt, look. So you've got all this room for play. And they do, honestly, when I was looking at the dancers, the children that were dancing, it was very warm, even though it was 6 in the evening, 7 in the evening. But they had loads of layers, like layers of material, like aprons, and then bibs, and then another dress, and then a tunic. And it was like layer on layer on layer. But each layer was peeping out underneath the other layer. Really beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, very lovely. So what we can do, you see, we can make the top layer, let's say it's like that. And then the second layer, it doesn't have to be triangular either. It can come in, right? maybe we'll bring another one in like so. See? So as long as that one is outside the other one, so they go over one another, right? Then this one is inside, and then there'll be one even tighter, and they did actually do this, right? So it's like almost like layers of chandelier, right? Karen says she's got turquoise on today. Well, that's brilliant. Trouble is, from a practical point of view, right? It's a shame really, because I've got lovely necklaces and that, but because I always have to, when we're doing the SHAC, I've got a microphone here. And so often, if you're wearing a microphone and you lean forward, the jewellery, it hits the microphone. See, so if I had a big turquoise necklace here, it would keep banging on the microphone. But I think my earrings are not that long that they'll hit the microphone. I'll have a look what I've got. And maybe I'll attach the microphone to another part of my body so it doesn't affect the neck. See, I could put the microphone there maybe, or something like that. Okay. Yeah, come on, let's have some fun. Let's celebrate. Now the shoes, this is interesting as well. And I'm gonna, I know they look like hooves, but it's not that. It's when you look at them close up, right? They wear great big warm, like almost like moccasins, right? Hello. I wonder where we got that idea from. Yeah, they wear moccasins, and they're made of animal hide, obviously, like ours are, sheepskin moccasins, and then they're sewn, aren't they? But they're quite big on the feet. So you get these really thin legs often, and then you get these big chunky moccasins. It's like when we wear Ugg boots, these little stick legs and then these great big Ugg boots at the end, same thing. So that was what I was trying to kind of conjure up here. And you can maybe, look, I'll show you, they don't have to be triangles. I made a lot of mine the same, although some of them, look, I put little boots on them as well. See? So you put little boots on them like that. And that's so absolutely what it looked like. Look, they look like little Ugg boots. See? So this, I can make it into a little, see? So you want the basic shape. So these, for example, these could be, don't want to make them look too much like animals' feet, Barbara. Isn't it funny when one draws, right, how you can draw something and then you get something in your mind's eye and then you can't unsee it. All I could see then for a minute was sheep's feet. And I thought, no, she hasn't got sheep's feet. The power of the pencil, you see. I love it. So let's have a look here. So we've got, that's where this rubber is ideal, because now you can rub out the bits that you weren't interested in. See, I'm going to make that a bit bigger, that sash. I can make that, I'm going to make this twirl around a bit. So this needs a little bit more of a connection. Let's have a look. So this one here is going to go there like that. Yes, love. And then this one is coming around the back like that. There you go. That'll do. Brilliant. That's one of the best things about using the tracing paper, is that you can, see, look, excellent. So we've got that kind of swirl, goes round there, goes round the back, see, and round the back like that, and it's all tied up. There you go. And then this, we're going to bring her body in a little bit more like that. There we are. And then we can make these, we can accentuate these layers so they look really lovely. See? And the thing is, when we go to decorate them, that could be your job before next week. So you get rid of all this stuff. The triangle was just the idea to begin with. And then we've got our bowl, we're still working on the bowl, right? And then, of course, we can add bits in the bowl. I'm going to have to bring the bowl down a little bit, like that, because my bowl's right up on my tracing paper edge. But that's okay. The main thrust, there you go. So it's a thinner bowl now. All right. And then I'm going to put apples and pears and bits in there, like so. So she's carrying something. And she's got her hands exactly where she needs them. There we are, like so. And then this is so that she can, we're going to go like that. That's so that she can hold it on her head. She could take her arms away. She could go, look, Mum, no arms, no hands. She's got a big bowl on. But she needs something to park her basket on, doesn't she? So we're going to give her a thing on her head to park. And then I think now it gets interesting. Okay, jewellery, here we go. So we've got a necklace, can make that longer. And now we've got, I would say, she's going to have big earrings. She's got big earrings and then more turquoise, maybe a little choker as well. And her eyes, this is the main thing. Her eyes are just little lines and her mouth is just a dot. Beautiful, beautiful. Now, if you want to change the shape of the face a little bit so that she's got more of a chin, so you can make it more heart-shaped. Oh, I love. So now there you go, see? And there is your lovely Kachina, your Hopi. You're the first of your Hopi dancers. There. And then if you wanted to, see how I've changed, look, the style. So on one of the layers now what did I do there? I stitched it. So I went stitch, 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 and then alternate stitching. So the stitches and then stitched where the gap was. See how nice that looks? So you stitch where the holes are. Do you see what I mean? So that one is there like that, and that one is there. So it's quite nice. It's quite a nice pattern. So that way, these are great for Zentangle, really, you know that, because you can really get some fantastic patterns going in these dresses. There, isn't that pretty? And now, you see, once we've got that lovely, so with her, we've got some really good patterns going. You can make them different. This is Route 66. Look. Yeah, if you've never been, it's quite a formidable country, you know. It's in turmoil at the moment, for sure. But in there, mixed in there are such wonderful, beautiful people, okay? You've got to know that. You've got to know that. I know plenty of them. Mexicans, beautiful people, okay? And that's the thing, when you travel, you get to appreciate all the different cultures and all the different mindsets and religions and spiritual opinions, okay? And just because I have a different set of opinions doesn't mean I'm right and they're wrong. It just means we're different. And the Hopi people are just wonderful. They have this philosophy of being at one with nature. And I think that is, you know, something that we should spend a couple of weeks just leaning into a little bit, you know, celebrating the good parts and not getting on that doom and gloom wagon that seems to be begging us to join, you know. No, let's get grateful. Every day, I'm gonna ask you to do this. I do it every day anyway. Have a little book, have a little journal, have a little notebook, and write out 5 things that you are grateful for every morning before you even have your first cup of coffee. Just sit for 5 minutes and think about, and it doesn't need to be the same 5 things every day. That will get repetitive. Just sit and think 5 things that you're really grateful for in your life. Mm-hmm. Because I think we're getting sucked into a negative spiral, a downward spiral. And we in the shack, even though there's only a handful of us in the big picture, at least we should be able to turn it around a bit in our lives. Agreed? And I think the Hopi tribe and what they represent, and look what they've been through, doesn't even bear thinking about over the centuries, right? And they still celebrate. So what else is going on this week? I'll let you know quickly. This afternoon, I'm on at 2 o'clock again with Paul. And we'll carry on with our Hopi people next Monday. But at 2 o'clock with Paul, I want to show you these stamps. Oh, they're so lovely. Really lovely. You like the backdrop stamps, you'll love these. So let's just check these out. I just want to pan out a little bit so you can see them. Just quickly, I want to show you them. These are backdrop stamps with artwork in them. So very, very lovely. I'm going to show you there are 10 pictures and 2 new shape backdrop stamps. I'm going to show you how they work, show you a couple of tricks, talk to you about Sheen Collé. Right, this is all part of that printmaking journey. Okay, so let's just start that rolling those ideas out. Let's get that moving. Okay, so we're going to use these beautiful plates. I've got some fantastic art samples from the art team. Okay, and so that's what we're doing this afternoon at 2 o'clock. Tomorrow, Groovy Tuesday. Look, I just want to show you a couple of bits of artwork. Tomorrow, Groovy Tuesday, with Louise in the morning, and then in the afternoon, they'll be looking at, Paul and Louise will be looking at Linda's floral gifts. Those are those lovely plates that Paul had on television last Friday and that we used in the retreats. Then on Wednesday, part 3 of the colouring course. So part 3 of, that's the final part of the 1, 2, 3 colouring course in the afternoon with Louise. And so Thursday, friends, no SHAC, just so you know, no SHAC on Thursday. Remember we said we weren't going to do that? Now Friday, 10 and 2, brilliant day. I think you're gonna really enjoy Friday. At 10 o'clock, you will, it's something a bit different because Paul's going on holiday. I know. About time too, I hear you say. Exactly. So Paul's going on holiday. And so at 10 o'clock on Friday and at 2 o'clock, it will be Louise and myself keeping you company and launching all part of our lovely Christmas celebration, birthday celebrations. We're launching a superb collection of French midi-size Christmas plates. I think you'll like them. And they come with a lovely Christmas midi plate mate too. So so on Friday at 10 o'clock in the morning, that's the big Christmas birthday event of the weekend. Lots of treats, lots of ideas, golden tickets. I'm going to get off now because we need to crack on with that. But so that'll be Friday. French lace, Christmas, 4 midi plates, plus a Christmas midi plate mate. So there you go. Don't miss that. Louise and myself, I'm the presenter on that particular occasion, and Louise will be demonstrating and showing you how those plates perform. So thank you very much for joining me, Paul. Thank you for your help. And I will see you at 2 o'clock this afternoon with these wonderful, 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 wonderful backdrop Christmas stamps. Okay.